Secrets of Universal Metaphysics Explained. Element 1. The Ideas of Universal Metaphysics. You're just beginning to scratch the surface of understanding the ideas of universal metaphysics. This realm of knowledge, often perceived as esoteric, actually underpins our perception of reality. Don't be daunted. You're capable of comprehending these concepts. At its core, universal metaphysics investigates the nature of existence. It's not simply a study of what is, but also why and how things are. It's about understanding the fundamental truths that govern our universe. You might find yourself questioning what's real, what's illusion, or perhaps what's reality itself. It's about delving into the abstract, challenging what you've always accepted as given. Consider, for instance, the concept of causality. You've always understood it as a straightforward cause-effect relationship. But in the realm of metaphysics, it's not so simple. Here, causality could mean a sequence of events, an interplay of forces, or even a paradox where the effect precedes the cause. It's the exploration of such concepts that differentiates universal metaphysics from other branches of philosophy. As you delve deeper, expect to confront paradoxes and contradictions. You'll be pushed to think beyond the conventional to reevaluate your understanding of the world. Inevitably, you'll grapple with questions that have no definitive answers. But don't let that deter you. The journey is as important as the destination. Element 2. Historical perspectives on metaphysics. In the realm of philosophy, you'll find that historical perspectives on metaphysics often revolve around understanding the nature of reality and existence. You'll discover that these perspectives have been shaped by thinkers across the ages, from ancient Greek philosophers to modern theorists, each contributing unique insights into the metaphysical world. Ancient Greek thinkers, for example, pondered the fundamental nature of reality, attempting to discern what constitutes the essence of existence. They asked, what's truly real? And what's the nature of being? Their explorations laid the groundwork for subsequent metaphysical inquiry, setting a precedent for philosophical dissection of reality. The Middle Ages introduced theological perspectives into metaphysics, intertwining religious dogma with philosophical discourse. You'll find that these perspectives often viewed God as the ultimate metaphysical entity, the source and sustainer of all existence. The Enlightenment period shifted the focus to human reason and empirical evidence. You'll see that during this era, metaphysics became a target of criticism, with philosophers like Immanuel Kant arguing that our understanding of metaphysical reality is limited by our perceptual capabilities. In contemporary philosophy, metaphysics continues to be a contentious field. Some philosophers uphold its importance, while others, like the logical positivists, question its validity, arguing that metaphysical statements are neither verifiable nor falsifiable. In essence, the field of metaphysics has undergone significant evolution throughout history. Each historical era hasn't only shaped our understanding of metaphysical reality, but also raised critical questions about the limitations of our knowledge. As you delve deeper into this subject, you'll find that these historical perspectives continue to influence contemporary metaphysical debates, challenging us to reevaluate our perceptions of reality. Element 3. Key concepts in universal metaphysics. Diving into key concepts, you'll encounter notions of being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time, and space. Each of these elusive ideas plays a pivotal role in the study of universal metaphysics. Consider the concept of being. It's not enough to exist. You must also comprehend the state, the essence, and the very act of existence. Knowing, on the other hand, isn't merely accumulating data. It's about understanding, interpreting, and applying that data in meaningful ways. Just as crucial, you'll grapple with the idea of substance. What forms the crux of reality? What lies beneath appearances, persisting through change? That's what substances seeks to unravel. Similarly, cause investigates why events occur, striving to discern the underlying mechanisms of reality. Now, let's ponder identity. What makes you the real you? Is it your memories, your body, your beliefs, or is it something deeper, something intangible? That's the mystery identity attempts to solve. And then there's time and space. Understanding these concepts requires you to challenge your everyday perceptions. You have to rethink what it means for something to occur, before or after, or to exist here or there. As you delve into these concepts, you'll find that they're interconnected, each shedding light on the others. You'll realize that understanding one concept deepens your understanding of the rest. This quest for understanding is both the challenge and the reward of studying universal metaphysics. Now, let's explore how these concepts interact with the intriguing realm of quantum physics. Element 4. Universal metaphysics and quantum physics. Quantum physics, with its entanglement and superposition, will make you rethink the concepts you've learned and push your understanding to new dimensions. It's not just about particles or waves, but the duality of both existing simultaneously until observed. You'll find that the traditional laws of physics you're comfortable with simply don't apply at the quantum level. It's a world of probabilities rather than certainties, where particles can exist in numerous different states at the same time, and actions can have instant effects across vast distances. Now, let's juxtapose this with the universal metaphysics you've studied. You're already familiar with the concepts of being and non-being in metaphysics. You've delved into the nature of reality, existence, and the universe. Well, quantum physics is like the scientific mirror of metaphysics. It challenges the conventional understanding of reality, just like metaphysics does. Particles in quantum physics can exist in two places at the same time until they are observed. Doesn't this make you question the nature of reality? Isn't it similar to the metaphysical concept of non-being that suggests existence is more than we perceive? Furthermore, entanglement, where particles are interconnected regardless of distance, echoes the metaphysical idea that everything in the universe is interconnected. It's as if quantum physics is providing empirical evidence for some of the concepts you've encountered in universal metaphysics. Element 5. The role of consciousness in metaphysics. You're now stepping into the realm of consciousness and its integral role in shaping our perception of reality. Within the framework of universal metaphysics, consciousness isn't a byproduct of matter, but the driving force behind the material universe. Instead of being passive observers, you're an active participant in the shaping of your reality. Let's delve into the philosophical concept of subjective idealism, which posits that our minds actively construct reality. This theory suggests that without consciousness, the universe would cease to exist in the way we know it. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that a radical idea? It's challenging, yes, but it's not without scientific backing. In quantum physics, there's a phenomenon called the observer effect. The results of certain experiments seem to change depending on whether they're being observed or not. This suggests that consciousness is integrated with the very fabric of reality. You're not just a spectator, but a co-creator of the universe. Now, let's connect this back to metaphysics. If consciousness is indeed integral to the nature of reality, then it must also be a fundamental part of the metaphysical framework. This means that your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions have a significant impact on your reality. Element 6. Understanding the metaphysical universe. In the world of the metaphysical, it's crucial to understand that you're not just an observer, but a creator of your own universe. You're an active participant in shaping your reality, and not merely a passive spectator. This might sound a tad intimidating, but it's a concept that's fundamental to metaphysics. You see, your perception, thoughts, and feelings play a significant role in the manifestation of your reality. To put it simply, your consciousness is the builder. The universe, in its infinite wisdom and flexibility, mirrors your internal state, presenting you with a reality that's in perfect harmony with it. This means you have the power to change your universe by altering your mindset and emotions. Now, this isn't about wishful thinking or magic. It's about understanding the relationship between consciousness and reality. It's about grasping the concept that the physical world isn't separate from you. It's an extension of you. You're not in the universe. You're a part of it, an integral fragment of the whole. You're interwoven with the fabric of existence, connected to everything that was, is, and will be. This understanding can be empowering yet overwhelming. It implies a certain level of responsibility for your life and experiences, but it's also liberating. It provides you with an opportunity to shape your world and influence your reality. But as you delve deeper, you'll soon encounter various theories of existence in metaphysics. Element 7. Theories of existence in metaphysics. Having delved into understanding the metaphysical universe, now you're ready to grapple with the theories of existence in metaphysics. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, where you begin to question what existence truly means. Firstly, you'll encounter essentialism, the idea that things have a set of characteristics that make them what they are, and without which they wouldn't be. This theory suggests that there are certain necessary properties that define the existence of entities. Can you think of what makes a tree a tree? Conversely, there's existentialism, which argues that existence precedes essence. For existentialists, you are not born with a purpose or meaning. Instead, you create it through your actions and choices. The question here isn't what makes a tree, but what makes you, the real you. Then there's the theory of substance, which posits that individual things exist and that the existence of other properties depends on them. This theory focuses on the fundamental entities that constitute reality. Finally, you'll meet the concept of monism, which argues that despite the apparent multiplicity of things in the world, there's ultimately only one kind of thing that exists. This is a theory that fundamentally challenges the way you perceive reality. As you ponder these theories, you'll find that your understanding of existence isn't as straightforward as you might have thought. This journey into the theories of existence in metaphysics isn't for the faint of heart, but it's undoubtedly an intellectually rewarding one. Element 8. Metaphysical interpretations of reality. Now that you've tackled theories of existence, it's time to delve into the metaphysical interpretations of reality. As you embark on this journey, it's crucial to remember that metaphysics isn't about finding definitive answers, but about exploring possibilities. One of the core interpretations of reality in metaphysics is that reality isn't something static or absolute. It's perceived differently by each individual and is a construct of our minds. This interpretation is commonly known as subjective idealism. It proposes that there's no objective reality independent of our perception. What you perceive as real is real in its consequences for you. On the other hand, there's objective realism. This view asserts that there's a reality independent of our perceptions, a world that exists whether or not we're aware of it. It's a more tangible interpretation grounded in the belief that our senses provide us reliable information about the world. Then there's dualism, which posits a binary existence, the physical and the non-physical, the body and the mind, matter and spirit. This interpretation explores the relationship between these two realms, often proposing that they interact and influence each other. Last, there's monism, which proposes that reality is unified and indivisible. It rejects the dualistic division and argues that everything is interconnected and interdependent. In your quest for understanding, examine these interpretations carefully. Remember, metaphysics doesn't demand adherence to one interpretation over another. Instead, it encourages open-minded exploration and critical thinking about the nature of reality. In this way, you'll cultivate a deeper understanding of your existence and the world around you. Element 9. The mind-matter relationship in metaphysics. You're about to delve into the intricate relationship between mind and matter, a cornerstone discussion within the realm of metaphysics. This relationship, frequently referred to as the mind-matter problem, is a puzzle that's confounded philosophers and scientists alike for centuries. How does the immaterial, subjective experience of consciousness interact with the tangible, objective reality of matter? Here's the basic conundrum you're wrestling with. If everything that exists is material, as many physicalists propose, then how can we account for the immateriality of thoughts, emotions, and consciousness? On the other hand, if we accept that mind and matter are distinct entities, as dualists argue, how do they interact? Can the ethereal mind truly influence physical matter and vice versa? Let's navigate this landscape by considering two potential solutions: interactionism and parallelism. Interactionism suggests that mind and matter, while distinct, can influence each other. This, however, raises questions about the mechanisms of this interaction. Parallelism, on the other hand, proposes that mind and matter don't interact, but run parallel to each other, synchronized by some cosmic harmony. Yet, this theory struggles to explain our live experience of mind-matter interaction. Understanding the mind-matter relationship requires you to grapple with these complex questions and theories. You're navigating a labyrinth of deeply challenging philosophical concepts, a task fraught with intellectual rigor. But remember, the journey is as valuable as the destination. Even if a definitive answer remains elusive, the exploration of these ideas expands our understanding of the universe and our place within it. Element 10. Substance and attribute in metaphysics. In the realm of philosophy, you'll soon discover that substance and attribute are two essential concepts you'll need to wrestle with. These concepts act as the bedrock for metaphysics, granting understanding of the fundamental nature of being and the world that encompasses it. Let's delve into substance. Substance, you'll find, is defined as the independent existence, an entity that exists in and of itself, without requiring another substance to exist. It's not the apple you hold in your hand, but rather the essence of appleness that makes the apple what it is. It's the underlying reality, the whatness of a thing. Moving on to attributes. They're the properties or qualities that a substance possesses. They describe how a substance manifests in the world. For instance, the redness of an apple is an attribute of the substance apple. Attributes, you'll appreciate, are inseparable from the substance. They can't exist on their own. You'll encounter a fascinating interplay between substance and attribute in metaphysics. Some philosophers argue that substance and attribute are one and the same, asserting a monistic viewpoint. Others, adopting a dualistic stance, propose that attributes are merely our perceptions of the substance, not the substance itself. Engaging with these concepts, you'll be challenged to assess the nature of existence. You'll ponder, can a substance exist without attributes? Can attributes exist without a substance? These questions will push you to wrestle with the relationship between appearance and reality, perception and truth, offering a rich exploration of metaphysics. Element 11. The concept of potentiality in metaphysics. Diving deeper into philosophy, you'll encounter the concept of potentiality, which refers to the capacity or power of an entity to change or develop. This metaphysical principle is instrumental in understanding the nature of change and existence. It's not an easy concept to wrap your head around, but let's unravel it together. Potentiality is often contrasted with actuality, the state of an entity in its fully realized or developed form. Imagine a seed that holds the potential to grow into a tree. It's not a tree just yet, but given the right conditions, it could become one. That's potentiality for you. However, there's a catch. The potentiality of an entity isn't boundless. It's constrained by the entity's nature or essence. A seed, for instance, can't morph into a whale. Its potential is confined to its inherent characteristics. Moreover, potentiality doesn't equate to guaranteed actualization. It's not a promise of what'll be, but a possibility of what could be. The seed may never grow into a tree due to external factors like poor soil or lack of water. In metaphysics, understanding potentiality is key to grappling with questions about change, causality, and existence. It's a means to comprehend how entities move from one state to another and how they maintain their identities amid change. Element 12. Actualization principles in metaphysics. Now, let's shift focus to actualization principles, which are just as crucial to understanding how potentiality can evolve into reality. You've comprehended the concept of potentiality, the seed of possibility that exists within every entity. But how does this potentiality become actuality? Actualization is the process where potentiality evolves into reality. It's not a mere transition from the hypothetical to the tangible, but an intricate transformation guided by various principles. First, there's the principle of causality. Every effect must have a cause. The actualization of potentiality isn't spontaneous. It's spurred by a catalyst, an initiating cause that sets the transformation in motion. Next, we delve into the principle of sufficient reason. This principle posits that nothing happens without a reason that's sufficient to explain its occurrence. In actualization, the potential must have a sufficient reason to become actual. It's not enough for the potential to simply exist. There must be a compelling reason for its actualization. Lastly, there's the principle of finality. This suggests that every process of actualization is directed towards fulfilling a purpose or end. In other words, actualization doesn't occur aimlessly. There's always an end goal, a purpose that guides the transformation from potentiality to actuality. Understanding these principles allows you to grasp how potentiality transforms into reality. It's a complex, purposeful journey from the realm of possibility to the world of the actual. By comprehending these principles, you are better equipped to understand the intricate workings of universal metaphysics. Element 13. Exploring metaphysical dualism. You're about to delve into the concept of metaphysical dualism, a philosophical theory that divides reality into two distinct categories. This theory, often attributed to philosopher René Descartes, suggests that these categories are the physical and the mental, or the material and the immaterial. This is no simplistic dichotomy, but rather a complex intellectual framework that challenges notions of tangible reality. Metaphysical dualism posits that the physical and mental are fundamentally different and can't be reduced to one another. It's not enough to say that thoughts are merely electrical impulses in the brain, or that physical sensations are just perceptions in the mind. In the dualist perspective, these are separate realms of existence with their own intrinsic properties. You might ask, how can the mental and the physical interact if they're so different? That's the crux of the problem, often referred to as the interaction problem. Some dualists argue that the mind and body interact in the brain, while others posit that the mind can affect the body, but the body can't affect the mind. You can see how this theory challenges our understanding of the world. It's not just about pondering the nature of consciousness, but also questioning our perception of reality. Ultimately, it's about looking beyond the material world, considering the possibility of an immaterial reality that exists alongside the physical one. Element 14. Understanding non-dualism in metaphysics. In contrast to dualism, non-dualism, often associated with Eastern philosophies, asserts that there's no fundamental distinction between the mental and the physical. Everything is interconnected, interdependent, and fundamentally one. You might find this concept challenging to grasp, as it requires stepping outside the typical binary thought patterns ingrained in Western philosophy. Non-dualism posits that the mind and the body, the self and the world, the subjective and the objective, aren't separate entities. Instead, they're different aspects of a singular, all-encompassing reality that transcends such divisions. This means that your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations aren't disparate phenomena, but rather expressions of a unified field of existence. To fully understand non-dualism, you have to reconsider the way you perceive reality. By observing the interplay between your thoughts and physical experiences, you can start to see the lines blur. It's not an easy task, nor a comfortable one, but it's an exercise that can lead to a deeper understanding of the world and your place in it. Non-dualism challenges the traditional metaphysical models that compartmentalize reality into discrete segments. It invites you to view existence as a seamless whole, where the divisions are mere illusions born out of human perception. By accepting non-dualism, you're not just acknowledging a different philosophical viewpoint. You're embracing a new way to experience and understand reality, a perspective that can profoundly shift your understanding of self, others, and the world around you. Element 15. Universal Metaphysics in Theology. Delving deeper into the realm of theology, you'll find that many religious and spiritual traditions echo the concept of non-dualism in their teachings. This isn't a coincidence, as universal metaphysics proposes a reality beyond the perceivable duality, a oneness that pervades all existence. Theologies worldwide, whether they're based on monotheistic or polytheistic beliefs, often point towards this same ultimate truth. Now, you might be wondering, how can monotheistic and polytheistic beliefs, seemingly at odds, converge on this singular concept? It's a valid question, and answering it requires you to be open to the intricate complexities of religious philosophies. Consider the monotheistic belief. It upholds a single omnipotent deity who's the foundation of all that exists. Here, the idea of a singular divine entity aligns with the non-dualistic notion of one ultimate reality. Now, let's pivot to polytheistic beliefs. These uphold multiple deities, each governing different aspects of life and the universe. However, in many polytheistic religions, these gods are often seen as manifestations or aspects of a singular underlying divine reality. Therefore, even within the apparent multiplicity of polytheism, there's an undercurrent of non-dualistic thought. This convergence of diverse religious philosophies on the concept of non-dualism strengthens the idea of a universal metaphysics, a shared metaphysical understanding that cuts across varied theological perspectives. Element 16. Metaphysics in Modern Philosophy. Turning your attention to modern philosophy, you'll find that it too grapples with metaphysical questions, albeit in a more secular and often scientific context. Where theology might turn to divine intervention for answers, modern philosophers prefer to lean into scientific facts, rational thinking, and human experience. You'll find that modern philosophy has given birth to several approaches to metaphysics. Some philosophers, like Immanuel Kant, maintain that metaphysics is a necessary pursuit, but caution against overreaching. According to Kant, you can't discern the ultimate nature of reality through human experience or reason alone. There are limits to what we can know. Then, there are the logical positivists who argue that metaphysical questions are essentially meaningless because they can't be verified or falsified through empirical observation. They're not interested in the why, but the how. They seek to comprehend the world through logical analysis and empirical evidence, and any question that transcends this is dismissed as nonsensical. Analytical metaphysics, another modern philosophical approach, takes a more pragmatic stance. It attempts to clarify and analyze concepts, rather than dismiss them outright. It's not so much about answering the unanswerable, but about making sure we understand the questions we're asking. Element 17. Quantum Mechanics and Metaphysics. Now let's look into the intricate nexus of quantum mechanics and metaphysics. You might wonder, how can a highly mathematical and empirical discipline like quantum mechanics intersect with the abstract philosophical realm of metaphysics? But you'll find that the line separating the two isn't as clear-cut as you'd think. Quantum mechanics, with its counterintuitive and paradoxical principles, challenges our conventional understanding of reality. You've heard of Schrödinger's cat, haven't you? It's both alive and dead until observed, a concept that shatters the classical notion of definitive states. Here's where metaphysics steps in, questioning the very nature of existence and reality. There's also the phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles are interconnected, instantly affecting each other regardless of distance. Doesn't it seem to echo the metaphysical idea of interconnectedness? It's as if the physical world is validating philosophical postulations. Then there's the famous double-slit experiments, particles behaving as waves when not observed, and particles when observed. This brings up the metaphysical question of observer effect. Does the act of observation change the nature of reality? So, you see, quantum mechanics isn't just about calculations and probabilities. It's about challenging and redefining our understanding of the world, much like metaphysics. It's not easy to wrap your head around these concepts, but the struggle is part of the thrill. Dive deep, question hard, and let quantum mechanics and metaphysics blur the boundaries of your perception. After all, isn't that the essence of intellectual inquiry? Element 18. Metaphysical views on time and space. You're about to explore the intriguing metaphysical viewpoints on time and space, which may forever change your perception of reality. These concepts aren't merely scientific jargon, but fundamental aspects of existence that directly impact our understanding of the universe. Consider space to be a metaphysical construct rather than a physical entity. It is more than just a container for objects. It is a complex relationship between entities. You are not just in the universe, but a part of it, linked by an intricate web of relationships. This viewpoint shifts the conventional view of space from a passive backdrop to an active participant in the cosmic dance. Now, let's tackle time. You're accustomed to viewing it linearly with a defined past, present, and future. But what if time isn't a one-way street? Some metaphysical theories suggest time could be circular or even non-existent, with all moments happening simultaneously. Difficult to grasp. Indeed, but it's these challenging ideas that push the boundaries of human understanding. Space and time aren't just dimensions in physics. They're integral to your existence. Your understanding of them shapes your reality, influencing how you interact with the world and perceive yourself within it. Thus, metaphysical views on space and time aren't mere intellectual exercises. They're transformative perspectives that can profoundly shift your grasp of reality. In this journey of exploration, you're not just learning about abstract theories. You're redefining your understanding of the universe, and perhaps even yourself. Dive deep, question, and welcome the unexpected. After all, isn't that the beauty of metaphysics? Element 19. The metaphysics of morality. Moving into the realm of morality, it's essential that you examine not just societal norms, but the deeper questions of right and wrong, good and evil. This requires a journey into the metaphysical, a domain often seen as abstract and elusive, yet vital in understanding the fundamental nature of morality. As you grapple with these profound concepts, you'll see that morality isn't merely a human construct, but a universal concept that transcends cultural, social, and temporal boundaries. An ethical dilemma in one culture is also an ethical dilemma in another, despite different societal norms and laws. You might wonder, isn't this a paradox? Here's where the fun begins. Metaphysics challenges you to perceive morality as a part of the universe's fabric, inseparable from our existence. It conjures up notions of intrinsic right and wrong, beyond human judgment. It's like you're a detective, sifting through layers of societal conditioning, aiming to uncover the moral truths that exist independent of human perception. Remember, you're not merely studying morality, but the metaphysical principles underpinning it. This means delving into questions about the nature of reality, existence, and consciousness. How does consciousness influence morality? Can an unconscious entity be moral or immoral? This intellectual journey might seem daunting, but it's worth the effort. Metaphysics doesn't offer easy answers, but it does provide a framework for asking the right questions. It's a critical tool in your quest for understanding, forcing you to confront the essence of morality itself. Element 20. Understanding the metaphysical self. Now, let's navigate from the vast realm of moral metaphysics to the intimate sphere of the metaphysical self. It's like turning the telescope around. You're looking at the same universe, but from a radically different perspective. To comprehend the metaphysical self, first, you must understand that it's not your physical body, nor your thoughts or emotions. It's something far more profound, a realm that transcends the physical and psychological. The metaphysical self is akin to an uncharted territory within you, an entity that remains constant amidst the ever-changing physical and emotional states. It's like the eye of the storm, calm and still, while chaos swirls around it. However, don't mistake it for a static entity. It's dynamic, yet unchanging. It's a paradox that challenges your intellectual faculties. It's like a river, always flowing, yet always there. Understanding this concept requires deep introspection and a willingness to engage with abstract thought. It's not enough to simply read about it. You must experience it. This involves peeling back the layers of your consciousness, questioning your perceptions and beliefs, and exploring the depths of your inner world. Yet, the journey is worth it. Once you grasp the concept of the metaphysical self, it will open up a new way of perceiving yourself and the world around you. It's a shift from seeing yourself as a finite being, limited by time and space, to recognizing your infinite potential. In essence, understanding the metaphysical self is a journey of self-discovery, a voyage into the innermost depths of your being. It's not for the faint-hearted, but for those who dare. It offers a transformative experience. Element 21. Metaphysics and the Nature of Change. In this chapter, you'll explore the intriguing relationship between the metaphysical self and the nature of change, providing a fresh perspective on how you perceive transformation in your life. It's not just an academic exercise. Understanding this relationship can fundamentally alter the way you approach shifts in your personal and professional spheres. The metaphysical self, as you've already learned, is a complex, multi-layered entity. It's more than just your physical presence. It's your consciousness, your identity, your intrinsic nature. Now imagine that self in the context of change. Change is inevitable, yet it's often seen as challenging. Here's where the metaphysical perspective can transform your understanding. Look at change not as an external force acting upon you, but as a part of your metaphysical self. Just as your physical body grows and evolves, your metaphysical self is also in a constant state of flux. Your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions aren't static. They shift and evolve, and that's a natural, essential part of your growth. However, this doesn't mean you're at the mercy of change. On the contrary, by recognizing change as an intrinsic aspect of your metaphysical self, you can become an active participant in your transformation. You can choose which beliefs to nurture, which perceptions to shift, which parts of your identity to strengthen. Element 22. Metaphysical perspectives on life and death. You're about to venture into the profound topic of life and death from a metaphysical perspective, which will challenge your current understanding and offer new insights. The metaphysical lens invites you to see life and death as more than physical phenomena. Instead, it prompts you to consider them as intricate parts of the universal cycle, interconnected and interdependent. You may ask, what is life? From a metaphysical point of view, life is a journey of the soul, a series of experiences meant to foster growth and evolution. It's not solely about biological processes. It's about consciousness, purpose, and meaning. It's an opportunity for the soul to learn, grow, and ascend. And what about death? It's not an end, but rather a transition, a change in form. It's the soul shedding the physical body like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. The soul continues its journey, carrying the lessons it learned. Death, then, isn't to be feared but understood as a natural part of our spiritual journey. The metaphysical perspective on life and death is both liberating and challenging. It urges you to see beyond the physical world, to understand life and death as metaphysical events that are part of the grand universal cycle. It encourages you to embrace life as a journey of the soul and death as a transformation, not an end. Element 23. The future of universal metaphysics. After looking into metaphysical perspectives on life and death, your journey now takes you towards the future of universal metaphysics. As you gaze into this realm, it's clear that it's an area dense with possibilities, challenges, and indeed controversies. You're stepping into an evolving landscape where advanced technology and scientific progress are pushing the boundaries of what we understand as metaphysics. First, let's consider the rise of artificial intelligence and its potential impact. Artificial intelligence's ability to mimic consciousness and self-awareness stirs up questions about the nature of being and existence that metaphysics has been wrestling with for centuries. Could artificial intelligence entities possess a metaphysical self? It's a question that's not merely theoretical anymore. Next, ponder upon quantum physics. It's upending traditional metaphysical assumptions about reality and causality, bringing in a wave of quantum metaphysics. Concepts such as quantum entanglement and superposition challenge our conventional understanding of space, time, and identity. Likewise, with our increasing understanding of the human brain and consciousness, neuroscience, too, is reshaping metaphysical debates. The mind-body problem, which has been a cornerstone of metaphysics, is being reevaluated in light of new discoveries. In essence, you're at the frontier of a metaphysical revolution, fueled by technological and scientific advancements. The future of universal metaphysics isn't just about philosophical debates in dusty libraries. It's being written in artificial intelligence labs, neuroscience research centers, and quantum physics institutes. Brace yourself. You're about to experience a thrilling intellectual ride of existence. In sum, you've ventured through the fascinating realm of universal metaphysics, exploring everything from quantum physics to the metaphysical self. Imagine, for instance, interpreting your life's changes through a metaphysical lens, giving them profound, universal significance. This journey doesn't end here. The future of metaphysics still beckons, promising deeper insights into the mysteries of existence. Keep questioning, keep exploring. The universe, after all, isn't just out there. It's within you, too. Thanks for listening or reading this from Audiobooks Office.